the moment you've all been waiting for. Three big news coming up today. It's time to get out of pocket. It is time to get out of pocket. I'm your host, Michael Davis, and we have a huge announcement. Actually, not one, not two, but three huge announcements today on Out of Pocket. Of course, we broke the news last week that Out of Pocket was going to be 1 hour for the fall, and that started what was going to be perhaps the biggest week of not only Out of Pocket, but Boom Broadcasting as well. Today, we're going to cover everything. We're going to cover the Thursday night football game that happened last night and the toe. We are going to cover college football and the games coming up this weekend, in addition to the NFL games coming up this weekend, in addition to AEW All Out tomorrow night. We have a huge show in store for you. We're going to bring in Chris to talk. We're going to bring in Wayne to talk. But I wanted to begin with this breaking news that Boom Broadcasting is now an affiliate to the Fanatics program. What that means is we have added a link to Fanatics in our YouTube description. Okay? What that does is you click on that and it takes you to the NFL page where you can go and get your favorite team's apparel because it is NFL opening weekend this weekend. Okay? This is also some big news. When you do use that Fanatics link and when you do receive your gear, okay, I want you guys to record a video 2 minutes long saying whatever you want wearing that apparel, and your video is going to be live, appropriate, of course, keep it PG. It's going to be live on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis. It's going to be shown to our entire audience on Boom Broadcasting. So if you are one of the first 10 people to buy gear from that Fanatics link in the YouTube description, then you will be able to have your video and your face on Boom Broadcasting on Out of Pocket if you so choose to do so. I am super excited. It's going to be huge. This Boom Broadcasting endeavor has not been cheap. So we're excited. Please support us. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be an awesome show today because that was one of our big announcements. And we have two a little later on. You're going to have to stick by it. And we want to talk about the toe. The Baltimore Ravens could not toe the line yesterday, and they lost the NFL season opener to the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. For everyone to see. Everyone was watching last night's game. Even if you're not a football fan, I had a lot of people saying, did you see that? And of course, I've had this issue before. Des Bryant came down with his pinky finger on the line, made a ridiculous catch that would beat the New York Giants. Instead, they call it out of bounds. The Dallas Cowboys lose to the New York Giants many, many moons ago. So I sympathize and empathize with Baltimore Ravens fans. We're going to have Ravens fan on, Wayne Thomas, a little later on. So I wanted to cover this before he was on the air. Reason being, I have been in this situation before as a Cowboys fan. It feels disgusting. It is horrible to lose a game by that much. And the Baltimore Ravens did. Now, here's what I do want to focus on. This wasn't the issue of Isaiah Lively and his toe. This was the issue of Lamar Jackson. Here's why. The reigning MVP of the league, who beat Dak Prescott, by the way, to win MVP of the NFL, Lamar Jackson shows up the opening night against the defending Super Bowl champions, and he has an opportunity to show everyone that he is that guy. He is the MVP of the NFL, and he failed to do so last night. Wayne either calling Lamar Jackson a coward or me a coward. Who knows what he's trying to convey right now in the comments. And you can be a part of our show as well. Wayne's going to be on a little later. Chris is going to be on in just a few minutes to talk some college football. You guys can be a part of the show just like Wayne did by commenting on Facebook, on YouTube, mouthing off with Mike saying he's a coward for that. Again, using these pronouns. I don't know if you're talking about me. I don't know if you're talking about Lamar Jackson, because Lamar Jackson should have won that game for the Baltimore Ravens and failed to do so. Now, I'm not putting it all on Lamar's shoulders. Of course, the offensive line was abysmal last night for the Baltimore Ravens. Could not provide Lamar Jackson time in the pocket. Couldn't provide a running game. Derrick Henry, 13 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown, scoring the first touchdown of the NFL year and of the Baltimore Ravens season. But Lamar started this game 9 of 10. Lamar finished 26 of 41. So that's 17 of 31. That's a little over 50% completion percentage. Finished with 273 yards, passing, 122 rushing, and a touchdown in the air. Mouthing off with Mike trying to call me out, calling me. Wow. He's saying should let Wayne spit hot fire. Wayne's going to be able to spit. If he wants to spit, he can spit. He can give me that. Oh, no, not out of pocket. Lamar went 90 yards down the field with a minute 45 left and was a tiptoe short of winning the game. And he would have won the game if he hits Zay Flowers wide open in the end zone. That was the issue. Lamar had the game there. Would have tied it with a point after. Would have won it potentially with a 2-point conversion. And yet Lamar misses a wide open Zay Flowers. And I'm going to tell you, this was not the only pass that Lamar overthrew last night. And I will go ahead and say, if Lamar Jackson, who won MVP last year, got that and is receiving no criticism for some really bad throws, especially late in the game, especially ones that can win you the game, I kid you not, if Dak Prescott had that opportunity and missed a wide open CeeDee Lamb, a wide open Jalen Tolbert, a wide open Brandon Cooks, a wide open Jake Ferguson to win or tie the game, that point, Dak would be getting ridiculed in the comments. Dak would be getting ridiculed all over the main sports media. And I don't think that is fair. And so, if you are the MVP of the league, you should have no excuses. Yes, your offensive line didn't play up to par. Hopefully, the Ravens' offensive line gels a little bit better moving forward. That's going to be a huge part of the success of the Baltimore Ravens. And people are worried, like what's happening to the Baltimore Ravens? You know, they can't block. Guys, it's one game of the year. That's it. That's one game of the year. Okay, you have 16 more games to go if you're Baltimore, 17 for the rest of the 30 NFL teams. This season is far from over. I expect the Baltimore Ravens to get back in the AFC Championship game. That prediction has not wavered one bit. But I will say this, Lamar Jackson should be shouldering a lot of the responsibility and a lot of the blame for last night's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's just the reality of it. Unfortunately, the Ravens start the season 0-1, and it's not because of a toe. It's not because half of a shoe size. It's because Lamar couldn't hit a wide open receiver in the end zone. I'm sure Wayne is infuriated. Hopefully he doesn't cancel his appearance when he comes on at 6 o'clock later today to talk NFL predictions, to talk AEW All Out. We'll welcome Chris in here in just a few minutes to talk some college football predictions for later on this episode. If you're just joining us, you can, you may have missed our big news at the beginning of the program that we are now, Boom Broadcasting is now an affiliate to the Fanatics program, which means there's a link in our YouTube description that'll take you to that NFL Fanatics page. You go buy anything you want of your favorite team. And once your gear arrives, you can send us a video up to 2 minutes, PG, and it can be on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. It can be on Out of Pocket, and we'd love to see you guys support us, encourage us. Josh, thank you for tuning in. Josh saying Lamar definitely could have made better throws on the previous 2 plays. I'm with you. Thank you. You are the second person that I've heard say that. And the first person was me saying it in front of the mirror today. Lamar could have made better plays down the stretch. Jason saying Lamar's the new Mike Vick. Flash talent, pure athletic ability, and the ability to always fall short. Jason, thank you for watching us on Out of Pocket and the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel today. Appreciate you so much. And I agree. I was watching that game last night, and I was like, man, this is exciting. This is electric. Lamar making plays with his feet, but again, fell short when it counted. And until Lamar Jackson gets to the AFC title game and gets his redemption against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game and reaches a Super Bowl, if that opportunity is presented to him in the playoffs, I mean, this is going to be the narrative that he is flashy. He is talented. He's super athletic. I mean, nobody's doubting his athleticism. Getting 7.6 yards per carry, escaping pressure, extending drives, like nobody's doubting his ability. I'm just a little disappointed with how he showed up yesterday. And we're about to welcome in. Okay, never mind. We got more breaking news on Out of Pocket. We're live on the Boom Broadcasting YouTube channel. They've just sent me a video in regards to the Miami Dolphins, and we have Banker Beal from Tap Outs and Touchdowns to bring you this news right here now on Out of Pocket.
Banker Bill here, coming to you from the Tap Outs and Touchdowns podcast about the new Jalen Ramsey deal that the Miami Dolphins just decided to pay. Jalen Ramsey makes him the highest paid cornerback in the NFL for the second time in his career. I mean, you got to ask yourself, what is going on down in Miami? Those guys, we're throwing money around like we run the drug trade coming into the United States. I'm not sure we do. I don't think we do. There's a salary cap in the NFL, and the Miami Dolphins have decided to pay everybody, except for one man named Javon Holland, who's still waiting for his bag. He hasn't gotten his yet. But, I mean, Jalen Ramsey, he's injured right now. He's not going to play. He probably won't play this week. And last year was one of his lowest rated, if not his lowest rated year in his career. He dropped from an 83 rating from Pro Football Focus to 66 last season, and they still decided to pay him. I'm trying to figure out where they're getting this idea. I can only feel like it's ego. There's Mike McDaniel's telling you that he's a great leader in their locker room. He's not really doing much on the field, but he's fantastic in the locker room. Well, thanks, Jalen. We need a lot more of those because, I don't know, a lot of locker room guys win a lot of Super Bowls. But we need to see it on the field, my friend. And only played 10 games last season, had 3 interceptions, 22 tackles, 22 more than I got sitting in my car. And he gets $24.1 million. Interestingly enough, that is $0.1 million, $100,000 more than Patrick Surtain signed for to make him the highest paid cornerback on Wednesday. And so Miami throwing money. You better pay Javon Holland, man. Jordan Poyer's only playing 1 season with us. And Javon Holland's going to be our only safety available, and they are not paying him on a rookie deal. Got to get him paid. Miami, what's going on? Stop spending so much.
Well, that was breaking news from Banker Beal that Jalen Ramsey has re-signed with the Dolphins. A new 3-year, $72.3 million contract makes Jalen Ramsey the highest paid corner in the NFL by annual salary. Banker Bill didn't seem too happy with it. Jason saying, they think his sign would splash, but it was just a ripple. Dude, Jason with the burn for the Miami Dolphins. Maybe the Dolphins front office thought they were going to get a better reaction from Banker Beal. Tap Outs and Touchdowns. Of course, you've seen Ryan from Tap Outs and Touchdowns on Out of Pocket several times. Super, super shout out And thank you to Banker Bill for that news update of Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey isn't the best corner in the NFL anymore. That's just the reality of it. I apologize if you think Jalen Ramsey still can contribute at that elite level, but he's still a great player. And again, this is the issue with contracts, right? You don't know if a particular player is, deserving of the money they're getting, but it's all about the timing of their deal. And Jalen Ramsey gets paid. He's going to be happy. And the Miami Dolphins need Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, obviously the guy back in the secondary. He's hurt right now. Don't expect him to play against the Jaguars. He's currently questionable with a hamstring injury. We'll see if he plays week 1, but it's just him and Kendall Fuller. And then you got Ethan Bonner, Storm Duck, Cam Smith is on IR. So it's going to be tough to see what happens in the Dolphins secondary, but their offense is very explosive. I'm sure you guys have got those fantasy football things, including Wayne, who's in our fantasy football league. He says Jason's just getting started. I don't know what that means, but we'll continue moving on with our show on Out of Pocket, and we have some college football games to discuss. And I am welcoming in a guest to the show. We got Mr. Chris Deluca. Chris, how are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Love the setup in the background. Not necessarily the Mountaineers jersey, but we'll talk some Mountaineers. Both West Virginia and App State playing some games this weekend. And I'll be honest, not many people care about West Virginia's football team. But since you're on the show, I wanted to ask you about them here real quick. But did want to say the Florida State Seminoles actually get a reprieve this week. They're 0-2 starting the season. Boston College, Georgia Tech both beat them in week 0 and week 1. So Florida State is not playing this weekend, doesn't have a chance to get back in the top 25. And so before we do get into these predictions for the weekend, do you think this helps Florida State to have that extra week to kind of relax, reset, and get back to winning?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need to. There's not really that much else that can be said. They looked terrible in both their first 2 games. I mean, I saw something on Twitter joking about how, they complained about jet lag after they lost in Ireland to Georgia Tech, and then they turn around and they complain about reverse jet lag when they play Boston College, and that was at home. It was embarrassing. And while Boston College is much improved, and I have a little bit of a take on them, if you think you'd have time for that, I have a little bit of maybe something you consider out of pocket, just a little preview about that. But Florida State.
Whoa. What? Where are you saying? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Boston College, and you're hearing it here first. Chris Deluca on Out of Pocket. Boston College will make the college football playoff this year. So I will elaborate.
Yeah, I can't take that seriously,
Okay.
dude. What?
So a top 10 win, a weak Florida State team, give it that, but on the road at one of the harder places to play, top 10 win. They have Duquesne next. Winnable. Their other non-conference game is Western Kentucky. So they won their opener, a conference game. The ACC is weak. And the big thing is the schedule. They have 2 ranked opponents after this. It's Mizzou and Louisville. Those are their 2 ranked opponents. That's the week after this one, Mizzou, and then Louisville after. But Michigan State, Western Kentucky, all winnable, and the ACC is already weak anyway. So I really think that if they can make that conference championship game or even win it, they're in. I mean, again, call it crazy, but like I said, just pull up their schedule, and most of the games are winnable outside of Mizzou and Louisville.
Wow. I mean, of course, we're extending the college football playoff to 12 teams. And if Boston College was able to win the ACC championship, but dude, I mean, you got to look like Miami still in your conference, Louisville, NC State, Duke, I think, is going to do good. I think Duke is good. Virginia Tech, people are talking about, who knows if they'll show up. You even added SMU, Stanford to the mix. Like, dude, Boston College doesn't have the easiest route to the college football playoff.
But the teams that they're playing are not those new teams. They're playing SMU, yes, but really a lot of those new additions that are really good or slash teams are already there. Like they don't have NC State this year. They don't have the U this year. A lot of the ACC teams they have are weak. And if you're thinking about it, if they win, they win. That the conference championship is based on record. So if they have the second best or best record in the ACC, even if that's a 2 losses, even if they drop both to Louisville and to Mizzou, that's still 2 losses. That's 2 losses. That's not bad. And if they could somehow upset and win the ACC title game, I think that they could get in. I mean, if they win the ACC title, they're in pretty much automatically. But still, I think that there's a chance. The schedule is very, very easy for them.
Well, we usually do a segment called That Aged Well. I
We'll
can
see.
almost guarantee that doesn't age well. But if you somehow hit that, I'm coming to you for all my gambling privileges, since gambling's legal in North Carolina, and usually I don't gamble or whatever, and that's your business if you do. But I will definitely be hitting you up if somehow Boston College makes college football playoff, because you got a crystal ball, you got some connections, who knows what you got. But let's see if that crystal ball works this weekend with some of the games we have slated. I'll get you started. Does your team win against the University of Albany, West Virginia Mountaineers? Who you got in that one?
Well, we need to. I do have us winning by a significant amount. We play SUNY Albany, U Albany, whichever you want to call them. And it's kind of scary, to be honest with you, because this is our only real tune-up game, or freebie, whatever you want to call it, where we pay them to come in. The Pitt game, I did not have Penn State game, I did not have us beating Penn State. That was not on my bingo card. I recognized how great that defense was, but for us to win against U Albany, we need Garrett Green to have that pocket presence, that awareness that he had in great games he's had, like last year's backyard brawl or the BYU game, something like that. We need him to be like that Garrett Green, because the Garrett Green that we saw on Saturday against a great Penn State defense, don't get me wrong, was not the Garrett Green that I know and love, that all Mountaineer fans know and love. We've been big on him. And this is the thing. We are not projected to win this. We were not supposed to win this. It's okay that we did not win this. It's just we need to not let this be a tone setter. We need to not let this be a tone setter. We have the backyard brawl after that. Then conference play opens up. We got some pretty hard games. We got Kansas. We got Kansas State. We got Oklahoma State. So we need this one freebie game to really, really be this game where we just, like Duquesne, like the Duquesne game last year, where we just push through 60-something to something low, and then backyard brawl time. We're set. We're ready to go to Pittsburgh, to go into that hostile environment. And it's always a classic, man. It's always a classic. But I'm not overlooking this game, but we need it to set.
I mean, you can overlook it. And this is what makes college football great, is some of the games you expect to win, you need to win. You're like, they're gimmies. Sometimes they aren't gimmies. And one example of that is the other Mountaineers team, Appalachian State. Obviously, 20 years ago, give or take, not entirely 20. I think it was 18 years ago. They went into the Big House, beat the Michigan Wolverines, and it was the thing that put App State on the map. And now they're going to Clemson, who got the brakes blew off of them last week, 34-3 against number 1 Georgia Bulldogs. I mentioned earlier this week that App State will have a hard time against Clemson, and unfortunately, I'm taking Clemson by about 5 points. So if you're looking at the line right now, it's about 60.5 favoring Clemson. Might not be a bad idea to think App State gets the differential right there, but I do have Clemson beating App State, unfortunately. Chris, do you agree with me?
Yeah, I have about the same. I think that Clemson pulls it out. It's going to be close though. And as Aaron always likes to say, this could be a trap game. Another Mountaineer, other Mountaineer alumni. He likes to say, I think that could be a trap game. I mean, it's at Clemson, right?
Yeah, it's at Clemson, Death Valley.
So yeah, it's going to be tough. That's a hard place to play, but if who knows? There's always a chance, but I still have Clemson.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for that fandom in me. So I'm okay. Like if App State shows up, plays a good game, I'll be proud. But if they win, I'd be ecstatic. A couple other games we want to touch on is Tennessee versus NC State. That is going to be quite the game right there. Tennessee and NC State both ranked opponents. Tennessee at 14, NC State at 24. This is Bank of America Stadium. So it's not going to be in Raleigh. And it almost kind of favors NC State, I believe. I feel like the Wolfpack fans are going to travel a little bit better. Tennessee, 9.5-point favorites. But I'm going to go ahead and say, I think NC State shows up a little bit better than they did last week. And I expect NC State to actually beat Tennessee. Chris, how do you see this one going down?
So I get it, especially because the state fans do travel very well, and Knoxville's a hike away, but it's a day trip. I still have Tennessee personally, simply because of how NC State did not look great week 1 against Western Carolina. I do have NC State coming back and bouncing back against Louisiana Tech and Clemson. I think they will defeat them back to back after, but I think that this unfortunately will go, for them at least, will go to those guys on Rocky Top.
It's coming to Rocky Top, Tennessee. Mouthing off with Mike says he's coming. Pause. Don't know what that means. So we'll see what's going on right there. Before we welcome the model in to talk some NFL with us, Chris, and a little later on some AEW. The other big matchup, top 10 teams. Number 3, Texas. Number 10, Michigan. Michigan obviously did great last year, won the national title, but they, they're playing Texas. They don't have Jim Harbaugh anymore. They don't have J.J. McCarthy. They don't have Blake Corum, guys that made that Wolverine team special. And Texas obviously coming back with Quinn Ewers. Who do you think wins that top 10 matchup? For me, I think it's Texas all the way.
I also have Texas, unfortunately, even though I always got to do the horns down. Simply, a lot of this depends on how Quinn Ewers does on the road. He's done it before. He marched into Alabama at the beginning of last year, knocked them off. He's marching the big house now. Both of those are hard stadiums to play in. I think he's got the experience, and I think he's got, obviously, the talent. Texas has retained a lot more guys than Michigan. Michigan, I think, will still be good, but not horns down, mouth off, Mike. I still think that Michigan's in a rebuild year. They're still going to be good. Like, they'll make a bowl, but Texas is national title contender. So
yeah,
I think I'm getting it to Texas. It's going to be a fun game to watch, though. It's definitely up the top, the ones I'll be paying attention to.
Oh, 100%. And yes, it's in Michigan Stadium. It's in Ann Arbor. But if you want to solidify yourself as, I'll say the second best team in the nation, if they win this game behind Georgia, this is exactly what you need. Mouthing Off with Mike will also be back tonight, nightcapping it up. SmackDown. He even is watching the Eagles game. He's an Eagles guy. Don't know why. And he'll be probably commenting on both, kind of like we did last week with SmackDown and TNA Emergence, live watch with the Iron Man match, Josh Alexander, Nick Namath. But I did mention breaking news at the top of the show about the Fanatics affiliate with Boom Broadcasting. But there's 2 other big news that's breaking this episode, and number 2 is coming right now. Chris, would you like to share with the people what is happening?
So, this coming Thursday at noon, we will be debuting Boom Broadcasting's one and only baseball-centric podcast, The Dugout Debrief, with yours truly, Chris Deluca. On this show, we will be talking baseball, news. I'll have a story. This week, I'm going to go tease it. I'll have a full summary out once you guys get to see it on Thursday. We'll be talking about the deadline. We'll be talking about that. And really, my plan is once we hit the off season to go and talk about some some off-season stories. We can go analyze historic teams, anything like that. I have a bunch of fun stuff planned, and they'll be airing weekly. We'll be breaking down stuff. We're getting closer to the postseason. I love watching football. I'm excited for football, but playoff baseball will always hold that priority. So I'm hoping that you guys can tune in this Thursday at noon. I'm very excited and hope you guys can tune in.
Dude, that is awesome. I'm super excited. Mouthing Off with Mike, super excited. Mouthing Off with Mike has been telling me for quite some time, we need a baseball show. We need a baseball show. We need a baseball show. We need baseball in Out Pocket. And of course, with football happening, like there's so much to cover. And that's why we extend Out Pocket for an hour. But the fact that we get to have our own baseball show, weeks, months, it's going to be absolutely awesome. You're super knowledgeable. I'm super excited for you. Also, what's up, Austin? Welcome back. I know you've been watching a few of our Out of Pocket episodes. It's great to have you tuning in, and I hope you tune in along with the rest of the people watching right now to Dugout Debrief, debuting Thursday at noon, your first baseball podcast on Boom Broadcasting, hosted by my good friend Chris. Stay tuned because there's going to be more breaking news later on this episode. We've got the Fanatics affiliate. We got Dugout Debrief. We have one more announcement later this episode. And Austin said he had to pop in, got injured in football. Dude, I am so sorry. That is not great news. I've been injured in football as well. Not fun physically or mentally. Wishing you a speedy recovery. It'll be over before you know it. So yeah, we'll hope to entertain you while you're on the sideline. Booking Like a Mark does great wrestling content. Perfect time for some baseball talk with the playoffs looming. Speedy recovery, Austin, from Mouthing Off with Mike. But without further ado, we got to get into some NFL talk right now. And we got to bring in the model. We got to bring in the guy who might be a little bit mad at me. We got to bring in Wayne, the model Thomas. Wayne, are we still friends right now?
Of course, but Mike, I did bring you something.
You brought me some.
Yeah, I brought you some tissues because the whole time you were talking about Lamar Jackson, all I heard was, but Dak Prescott this and Dak Prescott that. And if Dak would have done it this way, we wouldn't hear the end of it. Listen, I know Lamar won MVP twice and Dak came short by second place last year. But it's okay, Mike. Dak is still a good quarterback. You don't have to be sad watching Lamar.
That was Out of Pocket. That's all I will say. That
what a great way to
out
start.
Of pocket. What a way to start. Mouthing Off with Mike's like, cry about it. Mouthing Off with Mike missed a great opportunity, by the way, to say, oh, cry me a river. Just FYI. If you don't understand that reference, we'll explain it when we get to AEW All Out a little later on. But we got to run through some NFL stuff. We just talked about college football and what to expect this weekend. But we want to talk about what we have starting with tonight. We have Mouthing Off with Mike's team, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Green Bay Packers, the NFL's first Brazil game. If you haven't checked out Lombardi Party, Carson went into very great detail about what to expect for the Packers and Eagles, and I'm excited to watch this game. Friday night football, Friday night lights, if you will. Wayne, since you're just joining us, I do want to ask you what would you like to see for the Packers and Eagles game this weekend?
I'm excited to see Saquon Barkley with his new team with the Eagles. I think he's going to lead them to a victory this evening. I got Eagles taking the Packers.
He's got the Eagles taking the Packers. Austin reminding Wayne about Likely's big toe. Chris, who do you got for this?
I have the Eagles personally. I think it's going to be really close, but I just think the passing attack is going to be way too much with the addition of Jahan Dotson and just everybody that they have in Philly. I'm excited to see Barkley come into the great point that Wayne brought up, and I just think that the passing attack will be too much for that Packers secondary overall.
Well, Chris, I hate to break it to you, but you're out of pocket with that take. Because as much as I dislike the Packers, as much as I dislike Jordan Love, the Packers are winning this game. There is absolutely no way that the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. And I'll tell you why. Because can you trust Jalen Hurts?
Hold on a second.
There he
Time out. Time out. Hold, pump the brakes. I'm hearing a lot of delusions. I'm hearing a lot of shenanigans, and I'm hearing a lot of dirt thrown upon the Eagles' name. You are Michael Davis, host of Out of Pocket. You yourself are out of pocket for saying the Packers are beating the Eagles tonight.
How'd you get in here?
I have my ways. I have my ways.
I don't remember you saying what? What's going on?
You said my name and I'll appear. You said the Eagles were going to lose to the Packers, and I had to appear. I had to be here.
Well, Austin's saying he has 4 Eagles and 1 Green Bay player. Hope the Eagles win. They throw it to Christian Watson. Mouth it off with Mike is here, repping his team. And that ugly jersey, guys, this totally took me.
You know what's funny is I actually put it on social media like right before I was coming on. I was about to say, guys, I'm crashing Out of Pocket today. Stay tuned. Mike has no idea.
I legit had no idea. Oh my goodness. Well, since you're here, do you want to predict the rest of the games with us, or are you a wreck and leave kind of guy?
No, I'll hang around for a couple minutes. I'm down to talk a little football with the boys. Chris, congratulations. Welcome to the Boom Broadcasting team. It's great to have a baseball guy. It's great to have someone with the knowledge of baseball that you possess in that brain of yours come to Boom Broadcast. You know, enlighten Mike about how important playoff baseball is and has been, because I've been trying to tell him for months now. It's time to get baseball. So I'm glad we could bring you into the fold, Chris. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Well, we got a huge panel today now. So we got to run through these games. Wanted to give the Steelers and the Falcons, 2 teams that had quarterback controversy throughout the entire offseason. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix. Wayne, you hate the Steelers with a passion. Do you think they beat Atlanta this weekend?
I do not. I think Atlanta's going to get the win. I think we're going to see a revamped offense from Atlanta that I'm excited to see. You got Bijan's second year at running back. Steelers defense looks pretty good, but I think they're going to come with a good game plan to put the Steelers out for the first game.
Now, I do want to get Chris's prediction, but real quick, I just want to acknowledge the backdrops of my guests right now. Mouth it off with Mike. You've seen that a bazillion times. Wayne's got the Lewis jersey right behind him, and Chris obviously has the background set up for his dugout debrief debuting
And a
this
Steelers
week.
jersey.
And he's got Steelers jersey. Does that mean you're taking the Steelers this weekend?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but in all seriousness, I think that it's going to really come down to if Atlanta's offense is competent or not. And just with the change of coaching, we'll see if the whole Arthur Smith system of offense still exists, even though he's not there anymore. I think if they're still incompetent, the Steelers defense runs circles around them. But if Atlanta can actually capitalize on that talent with Pitts and London, et cetera, they get the win. But I don't see it. I think Pittsburgh will win in week 1. I'm pretty confident.
He thinks Pittsburgh wins week 1. We're split right now. Austin also says, kind of want you guys to do some hockey stuff, maybe Wednesday in season, but it's just a suggestion. I mean,
I know a guy.
Mike, you know a guy?
I know a guy who likes hockey. I know a couple guys who watch hockey that are diehard hockey guys. So there's a possibility. Well, Austin, keep an eye out. I might have to do some scouting myself. I might have to pull out the old scout book.
Well, he's got the scout book ready. Mouthing off with Mike does. Do you have your prediction ready for Steelers Falcons?
Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to shock a lot of people when they beat Pittsburgh this weekend. I think they have the pieces to be successful. I think Kirk Cousins has to go out there and prove to the NFL once again why he's Kirk Cousins and why he's still getting paid $100 million for as many years as he got. I think Bijan is poised for an absolute breakout year. They didn't utilize him properly last year in the game plan. And I think that was just a coordinator situation and a fear of, maybe a rookie getting hurt. But I think Bijan's going to have a good year. And I think Kyle Pitts might surprise people this year with Kirk Cousins at quarterback.
Well, this is a boomer bust year for Kyle Pitts. Jason taking Falcons. Chris, I think you're the only guy taking Pittsburgh. I am sorry. I'll take Atlanta, mainly because I just happened to get Bijan Robinson on my fantasy team. I need him to get points. Jason predicts Steelers need tank for a quarterback. There's a few quarterbacks in this upcoming class. I don't know how Shador does without his daddy, but we'll get into that. I don't think they fire Mike Tomlin to replace him with Deion Sanders. But speaking of quarterbacks, rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, #1 overall pick, debuts this weekend against the Tennessee Titans. Guys, I am saying it from the get-go. Bears win the NFC North. Mike, you're high on Caleb. Does he win his first game?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of stock in Caleb, not only just from the NFL, kind of stock when it comes to him coming into the league, but also from a fantasy, perspective. I think Caleb Williams is a guy who he's got the talent, he's got the ability, and the only thing stopping him possibly is himself and his coaching. So I think Caleb Williams gets his rookie win this weekend against Tennessee.
Caleb's going to be undefeated in the NFL after this weekend. Wayne, what's your prediction? And also, what's your thoughts on Jason's comment of Deion being the next Ravens coach?
That's absolutely pocket. We don't want the. No, it'd be fun, but Harbaugh's not going anywhere. I hope Harbaugh will stop going for stuff randomly and make some smarter calls. But Harbaugh's the guy in Baltimore. They love him, and he's staying.
Yeah, and who you got this weekend? Titans, Bears.
Give me the Bears this weekend.
Give them the Bears this weekend. Yep. Chris, also shout out to Austin and Jason in the comments right now. Austin saying Steelers will smoke the Falcons. And that might happen, but
Play
I
Renegade,
doubt it.
baby. Play Renegade.
Jason's got the Bears. Chris, who you got? Bears, Titans.
Bears. I got the Bears. I think they're much improved. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, hopefully he can stay healthy. Caleb Williams is going to look hopefully good. Tennessee's not great overall. Give me the Bears. Start 1-0, and I'm interested to see. I do agree with your take that they're going to win the North. I think it'll be close, but that's going to be one of the funnest divisions to watch come January.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Shout out Derek, Wrestling Toys and Tees. We're going to talk wrestling here in a few minutes, but we got some more NFL games to get to. Jason saying Titans are a dark horse if the talent blossom. Jason might be out of pocket for the first time.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they don't have the weapons, but I think Will Levis has a chance to be something in the NFL. I absolutely think so.
The Mayo Monster?
The Mayo Man. Yes, sir. Mayo Boy. I think he's got a chance, man. Will Mayo Boy Levis. I liked what I saw from the short glimpses I got to see of him last season. And I think given some talent, there's a chance. Anybody could make it in the NFL. Zach Wilson still is getting shots at being a backup or a starter in the NFL to this day. So really, I think he's got a shot.
Anything can happen, I guess, especially when division rivals play against each other. The Houston Texans retooled with Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, second-year C.J. Stroud against the Indianapolis Colts, who get Anthony Richardson back, have drafted Adonai Mitchell. Jonathan Taylor's healthy. This should be a really good game. This is one of the games I'm looking forward to watching. Texans Colts. I'll let Chris go first on this one.
I have the Texans. I think it's going to be close. Again, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be interesting to see how that division also lays out with Indy and Indy getting healthy and Houston with all the acquisitions and how great they looked. I think C.J. Stroud, as long as he plays the same level, he'll still run circles around the Colts defense, though. But it'll be a close game.
It'll be a close game. Wayne, how you see this one going?
I don't think it's going to be a close game, and I think the Texans are going to get away with it. I think they're going to get the win. Texans has too much talent. I don't think that Colts defense is anything to to write about, and I just think they're gonna blow them out.
Blowout in a division game? Mike, do you agree?
A part of me wants to agree with Wayne. I was actually thinking about it when we were talking about it. I was like, honestly, I could see the Texans going out there and blowing them out real quick. I will say, I think it'll be this is a game I'm very intrigued by. Like you said, this is a game that I have my eyes on. I may not really care too much about the AFC, whatever, the AFC South or whatever they got over there, but I really am high up on this Texans team. I'm going to give the win to the Texans.
All right, he gives the win to the Texans. So does Jason in the comments. I'm going to be a little bit different. I think division games are just a different breed. And Houston's going to have to lose games. It's in Indianapolis. Even though Jason says Richardson still too unpolished, I think they rely on Michael Pittman, Adonai Mitchell, Jonathan Taylor, and that defense has had a year to watch CJ Stroud. Gives them a little bit of trouble, more than we saw last year in Stroud's rookie year. And while I think the Texans still make the playoffs, probably a top 3 or 4 seed in the AFC, give me the Indianapolis Colts to pull off this upset, as apparently. Another division game, Las Vegas Raiders at the LA Chargers. This is Jim Harbaugh's first game back in the NFL since he was the 49ers coach. Raiders have a new coach as well. Antonio Pierce won that job as the interim last year. But there's a lot of uncertainty with both these organizations, but a pivotal AFC West matchup. Wayne, who do you got in this one?
Can you repeat the matchup? I apologize. There's some sound in the background I was listening to. My dog's upstairs.
Well, what's your dog's name?
It's Lola, and we have another dog over right now named Rocky, and they're roughhousing right now.
Lola and Rocky roughhousing. That might be a little out of pocket right there.
Raiders, get your head out of the gutter.
Raiders, Chargers. Who you got?
I've got the Chargers on this one.
He's got Chargers. Chris, who you got?
I got the Raiders. I think it's going to be close, but I don't think the Chargers have many major pieces. I think the Chargers are probably going to be toward the bottom just in the NFL in general this year. It's a big rebuilding year. Raiders will be kind of mediocre, but I'm giving it to the Raiders week 1.
Our local guy, Brad Attitude, AML champion, would love that. Mike, do you agree?
Going with the Raiders, baby. I think the Raiders with an Antonio Pierce coached team. I'm a big Antonio Pierce guy. We got some good history at ASU, obviously, before things kind of went down the wrong path. We're not going to get into that conversation today. Nevertheless, yeah, I think Chris hit the nail on the head, man. The Chargers, nothing really significantly that I can say that they've made improvements on. I mean, their wide receiver room is a mess right now. Their quarterback is kind of hurt still, somewhat, possibly. They lost their go-to, their bell cow, and Eckler. I think this is going to be a very interesting year for them. But yeah, give me the Raiders, man.
He's got the Raiders. Jason does not. Jason has the Chargers. Give me the Raiders too. I think Minshew Magic just takes over the first couple of weeks and then just fades pretty quickly after that. Derek saying the Raiders are going to be a sneaky team to watch out for. Might be potentially going for a wild card spot. Bolts have more talent. Raiders quarterback questions. Running back number 1 is who?
White.
Zamir White. I like
Zamir
White. Zamir White's good. Who's the Chargers' number 1 running back? J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards. Do they stay healthy? I mean, that's a question. I predicted Browns and Cowboys on Dad and the Boys this afternoon. You can go back and watch that, but I want to hear what you guys say. Mike, I know I predicted your team earlier. Do you predict my team to be successful?
That's a great question, Mike. You said that the Packers are going to beat the Eagles, and I could be petty. I could be like, no, the Browns are going to blow out the Cowboys. No, I think logically speaking, I think the Cowboys win this weekend. But I will say, Mike, I think the Browns keep it tight against your boys, but they win.
Wayne, what do you got?
I'm going with the Cowboys because unlike you, Mike, I don't hold a grudge.
Yeah, exactly. Get him, Wayne. Get him.
Oh, that was a shot at me while you picked my team. That was the quick 1-2 punch. Shout out Shane Smith's quick hits. Chris, Cowboys, Browns, choose very carefully. We won't cancel your dugout debrief show next week, but yeah, we'll just throw that out there.
And this is not even just because it's a safe pick. I do have the Cowboys. I think that electric offense will just be too much for that great Browns defense. But similar to what Mike had to say, I think the dog pound gives them a challenge. Like going into that Hornets nest is going to be a challenge for Dallas, but I give Dallas the win.
He gives Dallas the win. We got 2 pointers in here. 1 hour of Out of Pocket Christmas in September. Yes, Out of Pocket is 1 hour now in the fall. Thank you, Trevor, from 2 pointers. Watching us. Jason says, hate the Cowboys, but the Browns are the Browns. Amen to that. Browns got D, but no one to score. Ayo. Podcast middies. Browns have a good defense. Podcast me. Browns have a good defense, but not enough offense. Say his name, and he appears. Quick hits dropped Wednesday morning, actually. And it's going to be absolutely awesome. We also have some big news coming up here in just a few minutes on Out of Pocket, so stay tuned. We have one more game. Rams, Lions. Who you got, Chris?
So this is my upset of the week. I have the Rams. So I think that the Lions are going to walk into this game at home, prime time. I believe that's the night game. Could be wrong. Season opener. Rams still look good offensively. The Lions, that was their Achilles heel, was that secondary in the NFC Championship this year. And I think it's a trap game for the Lions. I think they're going to walk into it really confidently. Dan Campbell is going to walk in there really confidently. And I could see this game being close, coming down to like a 4th and something, and Dan Campbell does a Dan Campbell and does something super, super off the walls, and that ends up losing the game for them. But I think it's going to be a confidence thing. I'm giving it to the Rams.
He's giving it to the Rams. Wayne, do you agree?
I'm on the opposite side of the Dan Campbell opinion. That man makes me want to run through walls.
Oh, I love him. I love him. Like I do.
Yeah. Nobody is more excited about starting the NFL season than Dan Campbell. Give me the Lions.
We're split right now. Mike, you gonna be the tiebreaker right here?
You already know. I can't bet against them, man. I love him. I think he's one of the best head coaches in the NFL. Dan Campbell, man. I can't bet against the Lions. He's taken that team from irrelevancy to relevancy in the span of a couple years, making the playoffs, making a deep run. When the Eagles got pushed out last year, the Lions were the team I was rooting for to go. I wanted to see the Lions and the Ravens in that Super Bowl last year. That was my big one. So give me the Lions, man. I think the Lions get a massive. I think they're gonna stomp them out, to be honest.
So I want to agree with Chris. I want to disagree with Jason and Wayne and Mike, because the McVay effect isn't washed. Okay, Sean McVay is still a good coach. He's a brilliant coach, and he's one of the few coaches I would take to out-coach Dan Campbell, as great as Dan is. The Rams are also the healthiest they'll probably be all year. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua in his second year. Kyron Williams, let's see how he does with a full season under his belt. Matt Stafford also just wants to probably, rub a little salt in the wound. You obviously got Jared Goff on the other side. And Jason's taking Detroit. I'm taking the Rams in an upset with Chris. Chris, I'm with you. Mike's a little confused, but
I'm gonna what? Both of you on the Rams, really? I mean, I respect it. Hey, give love to Matt Stafford, man.
It's going to be
Cooper Kupp and the boys.
It's going to be a great game. A lot of offense in the game as well, especially since the Rams, Aaron Donald retired this offseason. But yeah, I'm still taking the Rams. We have breaking news here in a couple minutes. And Jason saying Goff wants to crush McVay. It goes both ways. I just think Stafford and the Rams pull it out. Chris, thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see Dugout Debrief this Thursday. It's going to be fantastic. Do you have any parting words for the Out of Pocket audience?
Hey, tune into it. We'll be talking playoff baseball. We'll be talking winners and losers of the deadline this Thursday at noon. I am so incredibly excited to talk about this. And again, I hope that plenty of people tune in, and thank you guys for the opportunity. Thank you guys for having me on.
Hey, it's been awesome having you on, Chris. We're about to talk AEW All Out predictions. But not quite yet, because I promised not one, not two, but three big breaking news. One of them was Dugout Debrief. One of them was we, as Boom Broadcasting, are now an affiliate to Fanatics. So there is a link in our YouTube description so you can go get your favorite NFL team's apparel. The first 10 people who use that link and let us know, once your gear comes in, you can record a 2-minute video, PG appropriate, of course, and it can air on Out of Pocket with Michael Davis. Super excited to do that, and we appreciate any support you guys give. And let us know your Out of Pocket takes. Podcast me saying congratulations on your show, Chris. And so I guess now is a better time than any to have our next breaking news announcement. Wayne, would you actually like to do the honors?
Yeah, I'm excited. Hey, this Wednesday coming up, you're going to see the episode 1 of Sideline Savants, which is going to be a fantasy football podcast hosted by yours truly. Listen, in this podcast, the model is dead. He's the commissioner, and he'll be letting you know what to start, who to sit. We'll be talking fantasy football for about a half hour. We're going to have fun with it. It's not going to be your boring this or that. We're going to have discussions. We're going to have memories. We're going to have a good time.
Wayne, I'm super excited. You have been busting your tail, and you've been super available, and you've been super supportive for our Boom Broadcasting, for Out of Pocket, for Drop the Mic, for the Nightcap. So many of our shows. This is a long time coming. I just gotta say, you play AA run twice in
That's
our
right.
Out of Pocket fantasy leagues. So if you show up 0-2 after this weekend, it's not going to be a good look Wednesday.
Uh-oh.
Also, I want to say in the first episode, I will be announcing a giveaway for the first 50 subscribers to Boom Broadcast, new subscribers. Send me a screenshot of you subscribing, and it will be a giveaway going on. I can say it'll be for something Mike's not really interested in, but the rest of y'all might be interested in it.
Dude, I want to know what's coming out of your own pocket as a giveaway. That's fantastic. Podcast me saying Wednesdays are going to be stacked. Also want to announce Wayne's episode is going to drop at 12. Shannon's episode is going to drop at 9 a.m. Drop the Mic is moving from 2 to 3. Lombardi Party is going to be at 6. AEW Dynamite's Nightcap is going to be immediately following Dynamite, hosted by Mouthing Off with Mike. And so our Wednesday slate is completely full, and it's not going to be long until we fill up the rest of our days. We want to give you the most content as possible. And so we got some 3 big wrestling guys on. We go an hour usually, but we want to touch on this. AEW All Out. It's getting headlined by Hangman and Swerve in unsanctioned lights out steel cage match. The heat intensified to the infinite level this past Wednesday night on Dynamite. My 2 questions to you guys, and you kind of covered it on the Nightcap, that people can go back and watch fully available on demand, Boom Broadcasting's YouTube channel. Who do you got in this one? And do you think this main event's over Bryan Danielson, Jack Perry for the AEW World title, with potentially Bryan Danielson losing his career and his title if he loses this Saturday night? Wayne, you're the guy with the new show. Come out with it. What do you got?
Hangman is going to get the best of Swerve finally in the cage match. I think Hangman goes over Swerve. I think it's going to be an absolute bloody mess. It's going to be match of the year candidate. As far as Danielson losing to Perry, I don't think that's not happening. But yeah, it's an exciting show. I'm excited for it. I got to watch the repeat. Unfortunately, I have to work. Being an adult stinks, but I'm here for it. I'll get to it eventually. It's gonna be a fire show.
It stinks to be an adult, except when you can get on and talk sports, talk wrestling with your buddies. By the way, thank you to everybody watching right now live on Boom Broadcasting's YouTube, Facebook. If you're enjoying this, just do us a favor. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. If you're already subscribed, tell 3 friends about what we're doing on Boom Broadcasting. These 3 on the screen, more in particularly, those 2 are doing, once I figure out which way to point, that way.
It's not just me. It's not just me, folks. It's also him. See?
That's it.
See?
If you want to support us, tell 3 friends about us. And use our Fanatics link in the YouTube description to get your NFL gear. Mike, do you think this should main event, and who do you have winning it all?
I'm gonna ask you one simple question to answer this question. Are you ready? I'm gonna answer your question with a question. Mike, what was the match type? I want you to read it for me again. Say it fully.
An unsanctioned, lights out, steel cage match.
And what have we seen from AEW with lights out matches, Mike?
We have seen that main event the show.
Exactly. So Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry will main event the show. And then the lights will go out and we will start this cage match, which will be technically your main event. So just to kind of clear that up, that's usually how those lights out match work. Give me Swerve, because I did my predictions for All Out yesterday. I kind of rushed through them. They were still really solid. Go check them out on my YouTube. Here at on YouTube, just search Mouthing Off with Mike. You'll find me.
You'll find it.
I think Swerve will squeak it out, and I think that this continues. I think Hangman probably ups his game from burning his house down to maybe kidnapping the guy's dog or his loved ones, maybe. I don't know where you go. We went from making fun of a t-shirt design to a man getting his childhood home burned down. So I don't know how far you can push it, but I say keep pushing it, baby. They're going to kill each other, quote unquote. And I think Swerve squeaks it out, man. Somehow, some way, I'm giving it to Swerve. Just lost the world title. I don't think he can afford another loss right off the heels of that.
Man, well, it was because of Hangman. And I don't know, dude. I am torn. I'm 50-50 on this. I keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You can see my drop the mic prediction. That's available on Boom Broadcasting's YouTube channel. But again, I keep going back and forth. Give me Hangman still. That's the pick I made in Drop the Mic. I'm sticking to it right now. But it's going to be nasty. It's going to be brutal. Booking like a mark. They know how to book. How crazy is it going to be when Hangman drops Swerve from the top of the cage with a dead eye? I would not be surprised, but oh my goodness, please. They're going to entertain us. I just want both of these guys healthy.
Please don't die. Please don't die. That's all I can say on that one.
I thought we were clapping for Joe Hendry to appear, because Mouthing Off with Mike appeared to tell us what match are you most looking forward to this weekend and who you got in that one.
For me, I'm definitely looking forward to this match the most. Not to be a cop out here. I think we haven't seen a steel cage in AEW in quite some time outside of the whole blood and guts thing. It's always good when you have a steel cage match and you have a rivalry that fits inside of a steel cage match. This fits right inside of a steel cage match. If I were to give you a second favorite match that I'm looking forward to, I'll be real. I'm really looking forward to Ospreay and Pac as well.
That's going to be a banger. Wayne, what match are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the steel cage match the most. I mean, it's the hottest rivalry in wrestling. It's been the best rivalry all year long. And it didn't have to have a friendship bracelet to do it. So that's pretty sweet.
Hottest rivalry. I see what you did there.
Yeah. Also agree with Mike though. Ospreay and Pac can't go wrong with that. Both those matches are going to be great.
Dude, those are the two matches I'm most looking forward to. Ospreay Pac, potential match of the year candidate. I feel like I say that about every Will Ospreay match, especially with the talent. People can forget how talented Pac is. I think he reminds people this weekend. But guys, this has been a fun out of pocket episode. We have so much content in store for you. We have the Sideline Savants coming to you on Wednesday. Wayne's new show, Talking Fantasy Football. Insight, we have Dugout Debrief, the baseball show Mike's been begging for, and Chris has delivered.
Begging.
He's been begging.
Chris. Let's go, Chris. And I've been begging to get more of the model on my screen because I can't get enough of him. He's such a busy man, and he's good. Bless this man. He's so busy. He's got a beautiful family he's taking care of. He's got responsibilities, and he still blesses us on Out of Pocket. He blesses me with his appearances on the nightcap, with Mouthing Off with Mike that you could see on Boom Broadcasting. And the guy's incredible. He's got. I'm a big fan. Shout out to you for meeting Wayne in line in Greensboro at the Coliseum for AEW Revolution, because it's crazy to see how when worlds collide, baby.
When worlds collide, you're ready to go. All right, you guys didn't pay for the concert by yours truly. That's going to be fantastic. We even have the Gridiron Address we announced yesterday. We announced that yesterday. It debuts this Sunday. You don't get a lot of live shows. You got Out of Pocket live 4 days a week. You got Nightcap live almost every single night because Mouthing Off with Mike doesn't sleep.
I'm an absolute animal.
You also have on Sundays during the football season, between the afternoon games and that Sunday night football game, you're going to have Aaron Schneider hosting the Gridiron Address. This is going to be a live recap show and a preview for the primetime game. Guys, to announce not one, not two, but 3 new shows this upcoming week is absolutely fantastic. I'll be on that first episode as well as Podcast Smitty. It's going to be absolute great time. What you should be able to stay tuned for Fridays is you got Grit and Grind. It's not on Boom Broadcasting, but it is by our own guy, Sean Lucas. They're going to do an absolute great job when they are talking some high school football. Do you like high school football? I like high school football. They guys got Bund versus North Raleigh Christian Academy tonight. So tune in for that preview. It's going to be fantastic. Also, the nightcap tonight, Mouthing Off with Mike talking SmackDown. Might even talk a little Philadelphia Eagles game.
I'm talking SmackDown. I'm talking that collision block, and I'm talking Eagles football. So it's going to be absolute chaos. I have no idea who's joining me on the nightcap. I might be riding solo as of this moment because it is a little late for all of you East Coasters. But if so, just know if I'm riding solo, things are going to get weird.
It's going to get weird on the nightcap.
You might need those, but not for tears, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, yo.
Out of pocket, bro. We got nightcap tonight on Boom Broadcasting. 2-pointer say it's a downside Wayne's a Ravens fan. Maybe a little trash talk going on. Saturday morning, I mentioned Sean. He does his Wrestling Destiny podcast that drops at 10 a.m. The man behind the mic. We took a couple weeks off after that episode detailing what happened last fall. That's still available on demand with Boom Broadcasting. Also, just want to say thank you guys. That was the longest episode of The Man Behind the Mic, but that was also the most hard thing to record. But also one of the most thankful things I can record to stand and sit a year later when it hurt to sit and stand a year ago, to be able to say that I'm good. Praise God. And we are riding strong with Boom Broadcasting. So it was awesome. Man Behind the Mic returns tomorrow. And then of course, Sunday, the Gridiron Address we talked about, and Out Pocket will be back on Monday, airing exclusively here. We're an hour long now. So guys, it's been quite the time. We'll see the model out, except on Wednesdays when he's the commissioner. Wayne, appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you guys.
And
man.
We will let Mouthing Off with Mike get ready for his Eagles. He looks like he's already ready.
I'm ready. I got Dawkins on tonight. I'm channeling little Weapon X tonight because we got that X factor happening in Brazil tonight when the Eagles get a massive win in the first ever NFL game in Brazil. And don't forget, you have the nightcap tonight, but you got the nightcap that's going all out tomorrow after AEW All Out. So when the action ends about 10 to 15 minutes, I will be joined with a good brother from four sides of the ring, some potential other good brothers, maybe some other good sisters. Like I said, I have been flying by the seat of my pants this week, and I just wanted to crash out of pocket today. So I'll let Mike do his thing. Bye, guys.
Wow, he's out of pocket for crashing out of pocket, but it's always great to see Mike's face when he's not wearing Eagles apparel, but it's totally okay. Guys, if you enjoyed this, just share it with 3 friends. Say, hey, they're doing this content on Boom. We think you'd really enjoy a episode, whether it's the Packers, whether it's fantasy football, whether it's out of pocket, whether it's nightcap. So many different shows. Quick Hit. Oh my gosh, like there's way too many shows to name. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Follow us on our social medias. But guys, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you all, and we will see you back here Monday evening, 5:30, 6:30 for 1 hour Out of Pockets.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it. Thank you very much.